Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is something very, very different here at Apex Online Racing. It is, as you can see by the banner, the classic Christmas Cup, the first of its kind in F1 2017. Round number 1 is here at Suzuka, but there is a hint in the name. It is not your standard cars. We are running the McLaren MP4 6, the classic 90 and 91 Dominator, winning 8 of the 18 rounds of its time. My name is King-Kodiak, and I will be one of your commentators throughout this race and the series of 5 races in this cup. Joining me, hopefully in the commentary box, is having a little bit of difficulty game side, unfortunately, is Mr. Frenzak.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening. Good after evening, as you say it. I'm having some trouble with the game, unfortunately, right now. But
well, it's just reported you rejoined, so hopefully you'll be able to stick with us this time.
I tried again, and it crashed again, so
oh no.
Life's a charm.
Well, indeed. Hopefully, was I anywhere close to pronouncing your name correctly, incidentally?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
So hopefully Mr. Frenzak can join us. If not, it will just be myself that will be doing the commentary. We have got 13 drivers with us this evening.
I am in the game now.
Ah, marvellous. Good stuff, good stuff. So, this is a social event, in a manner of speaking. There's absolutely nothing to do with the standard leagues that are running, except for the game that within which it is hosted. So we have got drivers from a whole manner of different splits. We've got F2. There is a driver from F1, although he's not joining us this evening, unable to make it. That would be Max AFC. So we have F1, F2, F5, F6. There is F4. There's a couple of new drivers that aren't actually part of our regular leagues, but are able to join us. Also, one from Assist 1, I believe, is also with us as well. So my inner F1 geek is going absolutely crazy to be able to talk about the beautiful McLaren MP4 6 and the array of cars we've got coming up in the other 4 rounds. Now, the way this cup is going to work is we have 5 races at 25%, and each race is done on a different track with a different car. So, yes, I really can't wait. How are you doing there, Frenzak? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Excellent.
I'm looking at Jipper right now, who's going through 130R right now, on his way to his first quali lap. This is also the only race we will be doing a qualifying session, as all the other races will be run in the reverse order of the championship standings to make the racing a little bit more exciting for all the drivers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we will be jumping straight into each respective round. I love the fact I turned the telemetry on, and it is the actual telemetry screen is even akin to what is normally in the car. That's a nice little touch. So as Jipper then is going through the S-curves to put a time on the board. Now coming through Dunlop. Oh, I'm slightly too ahead of him. He hasn't quite got through the S-curves yet. My apologies. Now coming through Dunlop curve. She has jumped on board with Jipper. There we go. What a sight that is. Through Degner. Degner 1, now Degner 2. Under the bridge. Now this can be a little bit tricky. I've driven this car a tiny little bit in this game, and I found the tail very, very happy as he comes through the hairpin. Now, and there you go. That's exactly what I mean. You get on the gas a little bit too early, and the tail does not want to behave itself. Through the long turn 12, heading down to 13, or spoon curve. Double apex left-hander as it's how do you say that? Pirate PK, I suppose it is. There's the first to put a time on the board. Now down all the way through to turn 15. As the times are beginning to come in. Ooh, keep 2 wheels on the road, perfectly legal. Any fan of classic racing will know that McLaren and that particular corner are fairly synonymous with one another, the Casio triangle. As he comes down to complete a lap, and that is a lap of Suzuka, and Jipper gets himself in third. Pole time currently held by, and I'm going to struggle with these names, I apologise in advance. Kriestein, I suppose that's supposed to be.
I'm not exactly sure, but I found it Kriestein as well, so...
Yeah. Smash, I can manage that one. So 140.3 is our new pole time by AOR Smash. A bit of a sound glitch there, apologies for that. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit unusual for me to commentate on a race like this, but everybody's in exactly the same car. I'm very used to see Mercedes, Williams, Sauber, etc., etc. But everybody in exactly the same car is slightly unusual. But
it's going to be weird seeing 4 McLarens or even more, maybe in a battle, and saying that McLaren is overtaking.
yeah. The temptation to say, "Oh, the McLaren," etc., etc. But as a McLaren fan, then this is absolutely delightful for me.
It do look very good.
So we have 3 people that have yet to set a time. One, Tomium hasn't set a time yet, as Flips is coming through 130R down to the Casio Triangle. And, unfortunately, because all the cars are the same, I have absolutely no idea who's following who in qualifying. It's a bit more obvious in the race, obviously due to positioning, but in qualifying, absolutely no idea. Flips puts himself in 4th position. It's actually fairly close at the top there, just half a second just over. Separating the top 4. Not entirely. I'm assuming the D is referring to dry tyres, as because they didn't really have compounds back in 1991. It was just simply dry, wet by Goodyear, as was the supplier to McLaren back then. What have you people in the pits? We have got 5.5 minutes left of this qualifying session. Where is Pacifian, who is not part of our regular leagues? He's joined us for this particular race. And a new pole time by Smash again, 140.194. 195 as it actually says in the top left corner. So he's put himself 4/10 ahead of Kriestein. I'm going to have to go with Kriestein. Oh, you saw the tail just kick out there on Smash's car as he left Spoon. That could have been very, very nasty, but kept it on the black stuff. Flying down through 130R. Now, it's a 25% race. The reason why it's been set as such is it's a different track and different car to learn for each race, and it is 2 races in a single week. The Wednesday slot that is normally taken up by GT3 Racing is being taken up by this instead, which I have absolutely no problem with whatsoever. As the Smash comes over the line, I think he rather invalidated that lap by kicking it too wide. Tomium is now on his out laps, so he'll be putting a time on the board to put himself in the mixture somewhere. So you've driven these cars, Zach. What are they like from a driver's perspective?
Yes, I've given them a shot earlier today on this track as well. And you, compared to the modern cars, you have a lot more view outside of the cockpit of the track. You see a lot more. The cockpit is quite a lot smaller and quite far down. So visibility is better, but tail is very happy coming out of especially the hairpin, and basically all of the curbs are deadly. A lot of them at least. Some of them are quite alright, like on the inside of the last chicane you can take a lot of curbs, but most of them, on the exits, try to avoid them.
So as more people are getting times on the board, we have AOR Flips that's put himself in second, just 1/10, actually less than a 10th behind Smash, and Smeege, again I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it correctly, a 10th behind again, and that puts Kriestein just a 10th back again. So the top 4 all a 10th apart, and then Julian has put in a fair effort to put himself in 5th position, again just two and a bit 10ths behind Kriestein. So we've got the top 6 separated by, actually top 7 separated by a second. Very, very nice. And to be fair, Jipper is only just outside of that second barrier as well. So,
and then Fox is also just outside of that as well. So it's quite close between the top 5, and then behind that it's also quite close again between Dragonbone, Dobby, Jipper and Fox.
Let's see where Tomium is. And there he is. He's coming through. It's been a while since I've looked at. That's Degner. He's coming through Degner 1, now heading through Degner 2. So the last man, he's leaving it very, very late. He's rather putting the pressure on himself to do a one-shot qualifying here. He's not going to have a great deal of time to do anything about it, is he? Locks up slightly coming into the hairpin. Oh, we have a problem at Sector 1. Unfortunately, we have no idea who. There's quite a few people are out there. Is it Julian's on an outlap? No, he seems to be behaving himself. But that yellow has cleared up, so someone going a bit wide. We have a new pole time by Smeege, 139.7. He's given 4/10 to himself at the top there.
That's a very nice lap to put himself in pole, ahead of Smash and Flips, who Smash is going out on a new lap, it seems like.
Yeah, that's what I can see. There's Tommy Yim come through 130R. Down towards the Casio triangle once again. Oh, he's locked up a bit coming into there, but that is the unloaded wheel, so it's not too much of a problem. Now, through turn 18. Get on the gas as quickly as you can. And that only puts him up one position on the 143.3. He will have time to complete this lap, and Pacifian has retired from the session. He is in the pits, so not an accident there. So he finds himself at the back of the field, and that's sadly where he is going to start today's race. Smeeds looks like he's giving himself some space. We heard some cars roaring off into the distance, so he's just opening up some space for one last. I love that, powered by Honda, which Honda and McLaren obviously have been a fairly disastrous combination in the last couple of years, but back then it was the combination to beat.
Yes, it was for a few years in a row, I believe.
Yeah, it certainly was.
I wasn't born back then, so I haven't seen it in
for us old timers.
Looking at all the results, it looked like the McLaren was the car to beat.
It certainly was, yeah. I mean, me and Vamonzak were talking about this before coming on air. 1991 is the year I kind of got into Formula One, so again, it's another kind of personal note for me being able to talk about these cars. Another nice little note. That also shows how old I am. I was 11 years old when that happened. Anyone with quick maths will work out that I am 37 years of age. Yes, that makes me feel lovely and old, but never mind. As Smeege is... Oh, Smeege is actually... He's nicely parked by the DRS board. That Sector 3 flag will be for him. So, as qualifying has now finished. So, Smeege just crosses over the line. Quite why he did that, I'm not entirely sure. Somebody else is coming over the line now. And Jipper has retired from the session. He's decided enough's enough. Oh dear. Dobby Free Elf. Parked it in the wall by the look of that, so he'd messed up his last time, and there he is, I think, on the side of the track there, so that didn't go particularly well for him, as Pox is... oh no, that's not how you deal with the Casio triangle. He's overcooked it, probably on the way in there, and thrown it into the wall with one of his wheels just wandering off along the road. That's not how you treat this old machinery.
I'm looking at Julian right now, who's coming up to 130R. He's probably one of the last people to set a lap in this quali session. Coming through the chicane now, locking up a little on the inside, taking a lot of curbs on the power, going downhill, which is very, very slippery.
Yeah, on board with you, you can see. Oh, second! What a time by Julian! Yeah. Very nice, and Smash gets the top spot with a 139.6. Whoa, what a time! But you actually saw, we were on board with Julian when he was coming to the end of his lap, but you saw how the tail was just wagging away. It did not want to stick, so he was very brave to keep the power on.
No, these cars just don't want to go straight, going down that hill, coming onto the start-finish straight.
So then AOR Smash takes the pole spot in this first round of this Christmas Cup, with Smeed second, Julian third, Flips fourth, Jipper 5, Kriestein 6th, Dobby Free Elf, I should probably just say Dobby, 7, Pox in 8th, Dragomone 9, we didn't really see him during the session, I'm not sure how you say this, Wessel, yep, we'll go with Wessel, in 10th, Pirates in 11, Tommy M12, and Pacifian rounds out the field as we now head down to the start. Oh, I can't wait.
I was looking at a black screen. I couldn't see the results because I joined late.
Possibly. That's a bit of a weird one. So as we now load in.
And it's raining.
Oh, it's raining! Oh, my goodness me!
Very, very hard.
That is going to make these cars very, very hard. I mean, the modern day cars are hard enough in the wet, but when you've got this thing that, you know, thinks about downforce as an afterthought, it's going to make... Oh, I think we're going to see a few cars on the wall. This is going to be a war of attrition, I think.
I bet.
I love the fact that you've still got this guy on the right-hand side there, and the bottom right of your screen. He's stood there. He looks pretty fed up. He didn't wear a coat.
Yeah, with just short-sleeve t-shirt, no hat or anything.
Here we go, then. 5 lights. Wind them up and let them go. Smeeze looks like he had a good takeoff from the line there, but oh my goodness me, he's taken the lead. Smash has had a terrible start. He had a big bit of wheel spin. Julian's gone through to second, so lovely stop. Oh, go on.
back of the grid already.
Oh, I'm not.
Because of the rain, which is very difficult to control the car.
Yeah, but look at the spray! The spray is so thick. As we just jumped down to Pox, who's lost a few positions. Christ, oh my goodness me! Side by side in the S's, in the wet, in these things, is exceedingly brave. But I mean, the only thing that's really defining these cars are the helmet colours. So jumping up to the front, then Smees has already got himself about half a second on Julian, and as Wessel loses a spot to Pox, then as they come, oh my goodness me, he's overcooked it on the exit of the S's. He's going to lose another position to Dragonbone, and it looks like we're going side by side. Oh my goodness me, that was Creo, I think, that was going a little bit wide on the entrance. And Degner, he's going to lose a spot to Pox, which he does, as Pirate that's losing a position as well. Goodness me, it's going home. It's admittedly it's only a small field with 13 in it, but there's plenty going on. Oh, bit of a nudge there.
Yeah. Having a bit of a scrap at the back with Dubby, who are both apparently struggling with the grip coming out of the hairpin and coming out of the Dagners earlier.
How can they see? I mean, they would have raced in conditions like this, because again, they were that nuts. But look at him on the standing water that's already on the field. God, you see how we're looking at Kriestein at the moment. You saw he was struggling to keep the grip there, and look at that. That's someone going slow. That's Flips, who qualified quite up the field. He's already down to 8th. He's going to lose another position to Wessel. He's falling through the field. He cannot get the power down. That's what it looks like from his perspective. He's now down to 11th as Dobby flies past him as well. It's going pretty badly for Flips. Jumping back up to the front though, and keeping an eye on the gap here. Smeege has got Julian really in hot pursuit. And Tommy and Dobby swap position. And of course Smeege getting the first lap on the board. Julian is hanging on in there pretty well. Smash is not too far behind. Plenty going on. Let's check in with our back two. Oh, Vasifians, right, is struggling. Oh, Jipper and Prox have swapped position. Let's jump up to them as they're coming through the S's now. Prox now.
This might be a game glitch, but on my screen it's showing Flips on the dry tires, which I don't think he's really doing.
I don't believe you.
That would not be a wise decision.
Now they're all showing wet for me, so yeah, I'm fairly safe in the assumption that is incorrect.
Yeah, I think if he would truly be on the dry tires, he would have been in a wall already.
Quite a while ago, I suspect.
Yeah.
Dragonbone is getting very, very close to Cryostein, who's gone very wide at the first Degner. There's an opportunity for Dragonbone. And Jipper's gone wide on the exit of the second Degner. We've got a problem in sector 1 and 2. Oh, the Pirate's out! We've got our first casualty. There he is. Pirate is gone. We can't see him with the TV camera. He's thrown it in. That's the exit of the S's. He is gone. Our first casualty on lap 2.
Dobby has just overtaken Wessel on the inside of the hairpin and is now catching up to the group of Kriestein, Dragonbone and Jipper.
Big old gag of cars
getting the power on the power.
Whoa! We still have a yellow flag out in sector 2. I'm wondering if that's for Pirates Pirates wreckage.
A bit wide into Spoon, Dragonbone, who managed to get past Jipper there.
Yeah, it was a lovely gaggle of cars there as Wesser's just lost another position. We can't even see through the spray. It's that close. They're actually side by side. We jumped on board. We have to be able to see Flips was side by side at that particular point. And this is where just struggling for grip. It's actually where Ayrton Senna, one of the pilots of these wonderful machines, was so good. He was just had a sixth sense of finding where the grip was. That's a very unusual line, Wessel, it has to be said. And a 10-second penalty for Tommy for exceeding track limits. I'm really not surprised, frankly, that has happened, as Flips now gets the fastest lap of the race. Very nice. So he's now finding some pace out there in the wet. And Smeege has made a mistake. Smeege was actually over nearly 2 seconds ahead of Julian, and Julian has now reeled in a second on Smeege. So he's had a problem around the S's somewhere. Dragonbone has lost a position. The Cryostein is there now side by side through the S's. These guys are very, very brave to be going through there side by side in the wet. In these machines, as we've already seen, the tail just kicks out so easily. And they're still side by side. And finally, Cryostein gets that sixth position as Dragonbone nearly introduces himself to the diffuser.
It's right back at the gearbox of Cryostein, and Cryostein is now looking at Jipper already again. Going into the darkness. Wise decision not to do anything, just stay behind, as Jipper gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting which isn't a surprise.
Not at all. As always, Jipper is he's jinked onto the really heavy wet surface there. You can see how much standing water there is. There's an opportunity for Kreinstein's gone on the inside of the hairpin. That is job done. As we've lost Wessel. Oh, another casualty. I couldn't quite see what that was. I'd realised he was a DNF, but I didn't jump to him in time to realise where he'd actually retired down. His car got, it looks like everybody is going to score points anyway with the points scoring system we have for this series. It's not the same as the standard one, as Kreinstein now gets himself a 3-second penalty. I don't think, look at, there's 5 cars all in real short succession. We of course do want to keep an eye on our top 3. Smeeze, Julian and Smash doing a great job out there. Oh no, just as I say that, Smash and Porsche have just swapped position. So I think they both may have made a mistake at Spoon. So they're battling. Oh, big locker for Pox. That's going to hurt his progress. But this gaggle of 5 here is really fighting.
Dragonbone looks to be struggling, and as I say that, he's having a look at flips again, but he's lost 3 positions in just this lap. And going down the hill on to the start finish. Yeah, he's really struggling with rear grip, getting the power down, and trying to keep up with the cars ahead.
Now already Flips has his fuel light on, so he's burning fuel a little bit too fast. It's only a 13 lap race. It is only a 25% race, as previously mentioned, because the drivers have got such different cars and tracks to learn each time. It was decided that 25% was probably fair, as Tommy now gets himself a penalty. And oh, what a lovely, nice and patient there by Flips. Kreinstein is all over the place in the S's, but he's just managed to hang on to that 7th position. As you can see the gaps. So
seeing these 5 cars together so close looks so
absolutely
cool. This isn't something you see very often in a modern F1
No,
car.
not this kind of intense. We had it a bit in Sochi in Top Split, where I normally commentate. We had quite a lot of cars for a lot of the race, very, very close. But
I saw that, yeah.
But that was in the dry, to be fair. No, it was nothing like this. As, again, side by side on the exit of the hairpin, you've got 2 side by sides going on. That's Flips and Kreinstein that are close together, and Dobby and Jipper are trying to be side by side as well. Dragonbone just at the back of this particular 5-way battle as well.
Dragonbone just hanging on, hoping someone in front of him makes a little mistake so he can capitalize on that. As Kreinstein goes a bit wide into Spoon.
The field is that compact. The Dragonmo can actually act as a semi-decent camera car if he's not stuck in the spray, which which unfortunately he is at the minute. So jump on board, off board rather, as they head on down to 130R once again. Ooh, keep it in the light.
Of course, 130R now not flat in this condition.
Nowhere near it.
It would be in this car usually, but
yeah.
These conditions make that very, very
Oh, Kreinstein's gone wide. Kreinstein's now at the back of this particular 5-car train. He went too deep at the Casio Triangle. Couldn't keep it on the road at 16-17. Now finds himself at the back of this 5-car train. Lost 2 positions there at least. I would normally check in with where our leaders are, but the battling really is here. Flips trying. Oh, and that's someone that's gone wide. That's Dobby that's gone too wide. It's going to take him an age to get back. He was stuck on the AstroTurf, which is of course very, very slippery. Jipper and Flips have just swapped position. I mean, Flips was 4th in this lineup not too long ago. He now leads this particular train.
Dragonbone also right on the back of Jipper, looking at any tiny mistakes Jipper makes to get past him.
Indeed, as they come through the S's once again, and Jipper's going a little bit wide. What a great move by Dragonbone! You can see the tail still doesn't want to stick. He's got the move done. That was very nicely done.
Very brave to go on the inside there. And now Dragonbone is trying to get away from this back, together with Flips maybe, and... Oh wow.
Look at that, yeah, you and I just went wow at the same thing.
Yeah.
That's...
Looks like
Dobby! He did indeed, but the positions are swapping so much. It's impossible. 3 wide as they've left the hairpin. Oh my goodness me, surely not. No, they've decided that discretion's the better part of valor, and I'm really not surprised. Oh, as Dobby had to get out of that. Dobby. Yeah, Dobby just hit the standing water that tried to pull his car off the road. Kreinstein's got a little bit too wide at Spoon, but he's managed to keep the position. Now this train's breaking up a little bit. You can see at the front, we now have a 3-car train, Jipper, Kreinstein and Dobby. Dragonbone's a little bit further ahead, but Flips has gone. Flips has actually deserted this lot. Where the heck has he gone? Yeah, he's...
Looking at the front, Schmich has also created quite a gap to Julian. Over 5 seconds, he's now ahead of E2.
You just saw it, yeah, just saw him at the back of the shot there. So Julian's having a good old race in his own. Haven't looked at him a great deal, but he's having a great time there. Pox actually has Smash for company, and we have a pitter. It's Jipper. Jipper coming into the pits now. Pit stops are not mandatory in this, and generally the tyres will last long enough and you don't need to do a pit stop. So one assumes this is for a new wing. Yes, it is. That's such a shame for Jipper. That's such a battle that's sadly come to an end now. But that does mean that we have a chance to have a look at everybody else in this now, as Jipper now has fallen to the back of this particular train.
Yeah, looking at the back, also Tomyam just ran wide going into turn 2 there. Sifian is right on the back of Tomyam going into the S's right now.
As Pox sends himself a penalty.
I see, yeah. Tomyam struggling a bit with grip, as is for Sifian, though. It's no surprise.
I'd imagine most people are struggling with grip in these conditions.
In these conditions, with these cars, it's very difficult to keep the power on, even on the straight.
Look, I mean, you can hear, we're on board with Tomyam at the time. Oh, he's side by side with Sifian, and also Smash and Pox are side by side as well. So we've got two side by sides going on at the same time. These two coming down towards.
Into the gravel. Not sure if he got pushed there or if he maybe made a mistake and locked up or anything.
The point that he went off, I switched to Pox and Smash. They were coming through Spoon. And Smash lost out on that one. He went too wide, got on the AstroTurbo. Oh my goodness me, he's gone. Smash is gone. He introduced himself to the wall at 100 odd miles an hour. There's a wheel bouncing down the track. Another casualty. That's 3 cars gone.
That's a shame for Smash. He was running in such a good position there.
Race leader is in. Smage is in the pits. That is gonna.
That's a surprise.
Surely, it's not a tyre change, is it? It is. It's just a tyre change. Smage obviously felt the need. I mean, he didn't have enough lead to stay in the to stay out there, obviously. But he felt. I mean, he had a 6-second lead thereabouts. Let's see if he's able to rebuild it. He's going to come out. He's going to come out ahead of Dragonbone. Nope, he's just gone by. Is Crystal going to get him? Yep. So that's 6th position now for Smage, as Smash has left the session, understandably. So that's.
These tyres are grading more heavily than we expect. Then.
I'd be surprised. I mean, normally they'll last. You'd expect wet tyres to last more than 7 laps.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that hands the lead then to Julian, who is going to be very, very happy about that. He's in our F4 category. 4.4.
This also means that Flips moves up into the podium position in P3, which I don't think he expected at the end of lap 1 or lap 2.
Yep, so Tommy trying to come in for a pit stop there and got himself a time penalty. Couldn't slow down in time.
Going on the inside of Kriestein in the second Degner there and making it stick. Yes, he gets ahead of Kriestein.
Wow.
Going into the hairpin there.
Oh, he's really at one with car and condition, but is he going to be able to close in? Let's see what the interval is between him and leader. At 15 seconds in 6 laps.
That's a lot.
And that's a hell of a lot. I mean, he's relying on those ahead of him to make him safe. We've seen, obviously, 3 cars already smash into the wall. It is certainly possible. The rain doesn't look like it's letting up at all. So we will have to see what happens next. Let's just jump back up to our leader then. Julian, he's actually lost some time, so he's made a mistake somewhere. No sooner do I say that. It's now 2.2 that separates himself from Poix. So maybe Julian's going to come in. Or Julian's just been very, very, very cautious out there. He's in the lead now. But he's losing a lot of time. It could be, of course, he's hit the wall.
It could be, or maybe he's just saving fuel to get to the end of the lap. Maybe he burned a lot of fuel in the first couple of laps.
His fuel line's not on, so I mean it's possible, of course, but I don't think we can actually. Yeah. Well, he's in lean mixture at the moment, so he could well have just burnt too much off, or he's just being overcautious as Kriestein comes into the pits now. Just for a straight tyre change. I'm surprised actually that people are pitting, but Julian has got a lot of company now. It's nearly less than a second between himself and Poix as he's come through the. Poix just seems to have that much more pace. I would suspect though that Julian may well come in for a pit stop. He could have incurred damage at some stage. As we have a problem in sector 1 as it flips. It is! Flips during the... he's managed to keep it out of the walls. Reverse back onto track. He's kept it out of the wall. He's had a problem in the S's. He's now down in 6th position. As Fasifian comes in for a pit stop as well. Oh dear, that is not what he wanted to do. Smeed has got himself a 3-second penalty. That will please Julian somewhat. He's actually... Smeed is right with Dragonbirds, 1.4 behind, but the battle we were just looking at there is for the lead. This is Pox on Julian as they head on down to Spoon. It does look like that Pox is going to nail the lead.
It does certainly look like he has the pace over Julian at this moment. Running a bit right into Spoon, keeping it very nice and tidy to the second part. Getting on the power. Does look like he has a run already on Julian on this straight. Side by side now.
Ooh, Julian Vermefan. That's going to put Pox slightly on the grass. Goodness me, I mean, that was a
very good decision to lift off there.
Yeah, I mean, he had no choice really. I mean, if he broke on the grass, that would have been in the wall, most certainly. Firm but fair defending though from Julian. Let's just see if he's going to go into the pits this time, or is he going to take that car to the end? And he stays out, so unless Pox makes a mistake, it does look like that the lead could well switch, but either way, I think Julian will still be quite happy that he's at the sharp end of the field. As they continue round, heading towards the S's. Oh, we've lost Smeej! We've lost Smeej! Oh no! Again, he's lost a wheel. We can see it bouncing along. He's he's lost it on the. That's the start finish straight. So he's overcooked it at the exit of the Casio Triangle. Oh my goodness me! The leader of the race for so long, and he is gone.
Flips
in the pits.
Well,
yeah, hasn't he already been in once?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh no, that was him coming out of his one pit stop. So he finds himself in 6th position then. Oh, Smeej, he will be furious at that. Absolutely furious. Head back up to our lead battle then, as everyone else is fairly spread out at this stage. Look at that. Who's got the fastest lap at the moment? The fastest lap actually belongs to Smeed as well, 2 minutes, 0.493. And Julian is defending with everything he has got, on board with Pox once again, as Fasifian now gets himself a 5 second stop go. I'd be surprised if he has to pit again in the next 4 laps. And it's getting very close as they come up to Spoon once again. And again, just Pox is all over the back, but he's not able to pass Julian at the moment. Julian doing a sterling job of keeping Pox behind him. Oh, and again, look at that. He went for the inside move. There wasn't really a lot of space. Now side by side, heading down towards 130R. Can Julian hang on? He does. Julian does successfully defend that position from Pox. His heart must be in his throat at the moment. Oh, Pox thinking about a bit of a centre prost. It didn't go well for them when they tried that manoeuvre. Okay, different car. That was 2 years before this. They come down towards the line again. It's still 4 tenths between them, thereabouts. Julian jumping right to the inside of the track, interestingly.
It looked like he was having a bit of a problem with keeping the car on a straight line there. So Pox goes on the outside. On the outside of turn 2.
Oh, outside of...
Oh, surely not now.
No, he backs out of that.
Behind Julian for now. Going into the S's.
The rest of the field are fairly well spaced out, so we're going to keep an eye on this battle. Oh my goodness me, Pox getting very, very close. I mean, he's not really going to try and pass through the S's, although we have seen side-by-side going on there. Cryostein gets the fastest lap, 2 minutes, 0.1. Very, very nice. And, oh, look at that, Pox having a look at the inside of the final part of the S's coming through the Dunlop curve. Oh, he's struggling to keep the thing in a straight line. We're on lap 10, 4 laps to go. Woo. Goodness me, that put Pox completely off. Julian didn't brake check him, he just propped a little bit deeper than he maybe would have liked, or Julian braked earlier than he was expecting. That's given Julian a little bit of breathing space, but how long is it going to last?
Not long, as Pox has closed up right behind him as well, already going into the hairpin now. Interestingly,
Pox is in rich. He's been in rich for his... He's got, another... He's actually gaining fuel. Even sticking it in rich. How much extra fuel? I mean... you saw Julian there actually sticking it in rich and then jumping it back down again. He's got 2 laps bonus fuel as Pox has gone very, very wide into He was coming through Spoon. He went a little bit too deep, trying to get some traction. But this is where the pace difference is coming from. Now Julian's stuck it in Rich. He may as well just leave it there. Nope, he's stuck him back in lean again.
Lean, yeah.
I mean, this just could be pure habit. This is, I mean, from a driver's perspective, Zach, I mean, confirm to me if I'm wrong, but that is how you would normally do it in standard driving conditions.
Usually you would, yes. Especially coming out of slow corners, you would stick it and lean just to get less wheel spin coming out of the corner. I think that's what they're trying to do now as well in these conditions, but I'm not sure if Rich wheel mix going out of the corners is really a good idea in these conditions because of the wheel spin.
We are seeing penalties popping up everywhere.
Yeah. That's probably why Julian is switching around between lean and rich, trying to get as much out of his fuel on the straights and then stick it back into lean for the corners and the
absolutely
zones.
158. Wow, he's knocked 2 seconds off the previous fastest lap. Flips finds himself in 6th position. He's 4.1 behind Krierstein. Well,
2 laps to go.
Well, yeah, 2 and a bit laps to go. We'll see. I mean, if Krierstein makes a mistake, and another penalty for Tommy Yum. He is really not having a good time in these wet conditions. That's interesting there. You can see that gap is now a second. And again, Julian is still bouncing between the fuel mixes. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner there. He's kept it in lead at the moment. I wonder whether he's going to get enough fuel to go to the end and just leave it in rich. Oh, lovely helicam shot for us here. That's a shame Prox disappeared out of the top of the shot. That was a bit of a shame. Oh, but again, you actually saw from the helicam shot how squirmy that car got for Julian's. He stuck it back down into lean for Spoon Curve. Again, he's doing a great job keeping it on the black stuff. As Tommy M comes into the pits yet again, and he's going to serve a stop-go penalty now. And back up into Rich then to obviously get the most out of the car, but also defend from Prox, who's now 8 tenths behind. And doesn't seem to be able to close in the gap now, so the pace difference we were primarily seeing before looks like it was down to fuel mixtures.
Looks like it was, yes. Julian just trying to balance his fuel. The start finish. Oh, now I go back to Rich now. Looked like he was having some problem, but maybe some desync from my point of view. It
is possible, as we've just seen. That's Tommy. Oh, that was close. As Tommy slots right in between himself and Pox and jumps right out of the way of the battle for the lead. We are on lap 12, so we are on the penultimate lap here at Suzuka with these beautiful McLaren MP4 6. That screaming Honda V12 under the bonnet. I was mixing up bonnet and hood there, and ended up with a whole mixture of syllables. As Julian now is starting to get away from Prox, so he's now really getting back into his stride. Pacifian's going to have another penalty. This is double checking where everybody is. We know where Julian and Prox are. Dragonbone, there he is. He's coming through the S's. He is 9 seconds down from. Oh, we have a problem in sector 2. That's going to be the leaders. You just saw Prox get a bit out of shape. Well, it could have been Tommy Young because he's on that same bit of track, of course. Dobby, 5.3 down from Dragonbone at the moment. Oh, that's an interesting way of taking the first deck now. Greer's time, we saw him on the fastest lap board at 1 point earlier in the race. He's coming down to the first deck now himself. 8.6 down from Dobby. Flips has tried to close in. Oh, and he's gone too wide at deck now. Into the gravel at deck now. That's not going to help him at all. Jipper is heading down to the first deck himself. Oh, and he's just seeing him getting very, very squirrely there. Pacifian is really struggling very, very slow there through the Casio Triangle and out of the back of the field. Tommy is a lap down, and he's really, really struggling in these conditions. Back up to the front then. On board with Prox. That's what at 1 point is now 2 seconds lead between yourself, and we've lost Dragonbone. Oh, that's from third. Again, another 3-wheel car. Oh my goodness me, that was catastrophic. That's Tommy that's come to grief as well. No, Tommy actually retired. We're not actually sure which car that was that went flying through, but Dragonbone is out. That's a strange place to come to grief. But maybe Dragonbone came across Tommy who's been struggling. No, Tommy was
car apparently still.
No, he's pulled off now. So, oh dear, we have 7 cars remaining in this race. As the lead 2 are on the lead lap now, on the last lap now. So yeah, that was rather unusual there for Dragonbone. He's still going to finish 8th as a result. But Julian looking like he's going to take the full haul of points. 2 seconds now separates himself and Pox. He will be delighted by that, but you see for yourself how quickly a mistake can happen. So it can still bite at any given moment.
It surely can, yes. So Julian and Fox and all of them are still really have to watch out on this last lap to not crash out and lose all the progress and all the good racing they've done so far this race. Julian also taking it very carefully going into the hairpin there.
He'll know what
he has a comfortable 2-second lead.
Yeah, he'll know he's got that gap. Although that was very, very slow through the spoon. He knows he's got tons of fuel spare, nearly 3 laps worth of fuel spare. So he's not having to manage the fuel in that regard. He just has to manage the gap. He's already lost half of it. It's now 1.5 as they come through spoon. But he's just going to be very, very cautious then coming through the last few as Vasifian picks up another penalty just because he can. Already at the back of the field, so may as well take that one home with him. It's now a second. If Julian's not careful, Potts could nail him before the end of. Is that someone's been disqualified for too many penalties?
Vasifian.
That was Vasifian.
10-second.
Oh no. Julian's having to defend. That's less than a second. Oh, this could be a sprint down to the line. So here it is then through the Casio triangle. Oh, puncture! Front right puncture on Julian. Oh my goodness me. He's actually been pushed along by Prox. Oh my goodness me.
Both going sideways.
But Julian actually still took the win. Prox actually... Yeah, Julian has taken the win. Prox actually had a 3-second penalty. I'm not sure Julian was aware of it. But so puncture for Julian at the very last was pushed across the line by Prox. Someone's throwing the gas. Kriestein has thrown his car into the wall. Why not at this point? Flips has actually jumped up to 3rd because of penalties. Flips does indeed finish on the podium. He took the fastest lap as Dobby's himself another penalty. He's got a front right puncture as well. He's got 2 punctures, front right and rear left. Well done.
Wow. Never seen something like that before.
I've never seen 2 punctures in the same car, but Jipper actually came past him and stole that 5th position. So we only had 6. Over half of our field didn't finish the race. Oh my goodness me, what a fantastic race though. I really hope that we get this kind of racing throughout the Cup.
I hope so, yes. This was a fantastic race with a 5-way battle halfway through.
Oh, that was amazing.
The battle for the lead in the last couple of laps. But I'm not sure now one was Julian or Prox, because it showed Julian. Yeah, it looks to be Julian. The flag is in the middle.
Yeah, Julian did cross the line first, but also Prox had a penalty. He had a 3-second time penalty, but he was still over 3 seconds behind. But there it is. There's the final confirmation. Julian, one of only 2 finishing drivers that didn't have a penalty, so absolutely fair play there. So Julian,
looking at the time, minus the 3 seconds, he only crossed the line 500ths in front.
500ths ahead. I mean, Prox did actually nudge Julian right at the end there, so that was very, very close. Flips does indeed finish 3rd, Kriestein 4th, Jipper 5, Dobby 6th. That was, I've forgotten who that was actually in 7th that was out at the last. Somium, Smeege, we obviously had some people leave. It was indeed Vasifian that picked up that disqualification due to penalties. What a race!
What a race indeed. Hopefully all the other races will be just as exciting as this one. Just, wow.
Absolutely. Wow,
Fortunately,
indeed.
only 13 people, but what a race! What a race!
Yeah.
I don't think any of them minded at all that there were only 13 people driving. But
Julian. There was plenty going on, despite the fact there were only a few of us. Wow!
Only 6 finishers, so even Dobby and Jipper finishing at the back get a nice haul of points. Not sure exactly how many. I have to take a look at that, but
yeah, unfortunately, it's a different point system.
Yes, the winner gets 50 points, I believe, and the second place gets 43, and I'm not sure about the rest, but it basically means Julian is now 50 points ahead of other drivers who didn't finish or didn't show up.
Indeed.
And only 4 races to go. That's a huge gap already.
Wow, yeah, indeed. Obviously, with a shorter series, that does make that kind of gap difficult to make up. But, well, we hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. Granted, it does make for a shorter race, but obviously with 2 races in short succession with completely different cars and tracks, I'm sure you can understand why the races are so short. And so we will wrap it up there. Thank you very much for those that have been with us through the Twitch chat. We hope you enjoyed that. It will be available on YouTube post-race. Thank you, King-Kodiak, for being with me in the commentary box.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here. It was my first time commentating anything, so I hope I did decently well, at least.
For your first time, absolutely you did. And we will see you right here for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.